Unlike my more illustrious colleagues here at Overdrive, I'm what you'd call an ideal small hatchback buyer. I'm under 30 years of age, I'm in my second job, and I've been married for a few years now. So in all probability, this is the time I'd be looking to buy my first car. 10 years ago, I'd have had very little choice in the matter, but today we have a whole plethora of small hatchbacks available. So what do I have to choose from? If my parents were deciding for me, or if I was looking for the safe, conservative choice, my first option would be this, Maruti's newly refreshed WagonR. It's popular, it's spacious, and it has two typical Maruti traits, a frugal yet expressive petrol engine and a cheap and reliable ownership experience. If my wife was taking the decision, she'd pick this, the Chevrolet Beat. It's competitively priced, packed with features, and best of all, utterly spectacular to look at. Our third contender, and shockingly the second American here, is the Ford Figo. I've driven it before and been pleasantly surprised by its ride and handling. It's also good looking in a rugged, outdoorsy kind of way, and like the others, it's fully loaded. So we have three very different cars, all targeted at the same customer. This is already beginning to look quite difficult.
If eye candy was my only concern, this would be easy. Despite its recent facelift, the WagonR is still the most boring styling package of the lot. I've seen the tall boy silhouette for years now, and driving up to work in Maruti's blue-eyed boy is not going to make my co-workers go green. Speaking of green, at first glance, the Figo is not an eye-catching car, but it's a styling package that grows on you. It's unfussy and rugged, yet capable of starting conversations when you pull up at the parking lot. But in this company, it's not the showstopper. That accolade has to go to the Beat. It's striking and very in your face, and the many creases and bulges come together in a distinctive package. Like I said earlier, pure eye candy. The cabins, well, that's a similar story. The Figo gets generic Ford interiors, and you can pick between the coral or a conservative black color scheme for the dash. Maruti has worked hard on the WagonR's interior, making it more upmarket and creating practical storage spaces in some unusual areas. But the most striking cabin is still the Beat's, a well thought out mix of the practical and the radical, like the motorcycle inspired Instrument Binnacle. Like most Indian hatchbacks, the Beat, WagonR and Figo get small capacity petrol engines, and to be honest, there's very little to differentiate between them when you're driving around in the city. The WagonR has a 998cc 3-cylinder unit that tends to vibrate when idling and gets noisy when revved hard, but is sprightly and quick. The gearbox is much improved but can't compare with the Figo's delightfully slick shifts. The Figo's 1.2-litre engine is also more refined but is geared higher and hence feels lethargic.
And so the car with the best engine and powertrain combination in this trio is the Beat. It has a decent gearbox, though not quite as good as the Figo, but the engine is the most refined and fuel efficient of the lot.
My next criteria is ride and handling. And I don't mean flat out around corners. These cars are going to spend most of their lives in the city. But even there, a small hatch needs to be maneuverable and easy to drive. The heavily re-engineered WagonR is a much better handler than past versions. No longer is a gust of wind going to push you across lanes, but it's still susceptible to crosswinds at speed, and in this company has to settle for the wooden spoon. The Beat is surprisingly stable despite the skinny tires, and its small turning circle makes it a breeze to park. It also rides well, whatever the speed, but while it is good, it's not the best. that title has to go to the Figo.
The Figo uses a modified Fiesta platform, and the handling DNA is apparent from the moment you get behind the wheel. This is easily the most involved drive of the three cars, with excellent steering feedback and good high-speed stability, unlike the WagonR. The Figo also has the most compliant and comfortable ride of the three cars and feels completely at ease, whether on the highway or in the city.
And then we come to the most important criteria, practicality. In our cities, even a nuclear family numbers 5, so 3 in the back will be the norm rather than an exception. The Figo is the widest of the trio, so 3 in the back is a possibility. But thanks to the sloping roofline, headroom is at a premium. Despite some clever packaging, the Beat is definitely more cramped than the Figo in the back. But when it comes to interior room, the WagonR is both hero and villain. Confused? Let me explain.
Maruti has lengthened the wheelbase, and that's liberated acres of room here in the back. In fact, this is the most spacious small hatchback you can buy in this country, making it perfect if you're looking to hire a chauffeur to do all the driving for you. In fact, as you can see, this is you and the wife, or in my case, a colleague in the back. The WagonR is king. But, and this is a big but, or well, in this case, 3 big buts. If you try squeezing 3 people into the back of this car, it just gets incredibly cramped. Come on guys, give me a little space here.
We don't have any either. How?
And finally, we have the most important aspect, price. After its upgrade, the WagonR now costs just over 4 lakhs for the VXI variant with ABS. The Figo in this top-of-the-line titanium spec checks in at 4.64 lakhs, but the hatch with the killer pricing is the Beat at just under 4.2 lakhs. The Beat is also young, fun and happy, and in today's hyper-competitive car market, desirability could well be the key differentiator.
And so, after an entire day's driving and testing, this is still an incredibly difficult decision. As you've seen, all 3 of these cars have their plus points, and they're almost evenly matched across most parameters, including price. But there can be only one winner, and that winner is the Beat, because simply put, it is the most desirable car you can buy in this segment.